here we go. Going into the letters page. There's lots of cool stuff on here. Photographs from the Reuben Awards. Jack Davis won a Reuben. So did Sergio Aragones and Matt Groening. And here's the whole gang right there. I don't want to go through that because I want to talk about this. Still, WWF'd up. Let me just say that a great injustice has been done to Mad. It occurred in issue 405. Now, this is a letter. This is a famous letter, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. Gary Orton from Cedar City, Utah, wrote this letter in, very upset. But to fully appreciate this situation, to appreciate this letter, you have to know the context. The context begins all the way back in Mad Magazine number 400. Here we have artist John Wyman, writer Mike Snyder, doing the celebrity cause of death betting odds for Vince McMahon. Now, here's the thing. You go in and it says this: VD contracted from one of D'Lo Brown's Ho escorts. The Ho escorts. Now, that seems like an innocuous enough type of thing to say in a magazine, but it wasn't. In fact, it caused somebody to write in a letter in issue number 405. So let's check that out. Issue 405, we have WW effed up. In your celebrity cause of death betting odds in Mad 400, you stated that Vince McMahon would die from contracting VD from one of D'Lo Brown's Ho escorts. Obviously, you have not been smelling what The Rock is cooking, because if you did, then you would know that it was The Godfather, now known as The Good Father, who was the pimp and who had the Ho escorts. Just thought you should know that for future reference. From Eugene Lumley in the Bronx, New York. To which Ed replies, "Turnbuckle boy, you are absolutely correct in pointing out this obvious mistake. We originally had The Godfather in our response, but were forced to change it due to pressure from the right to censor. Now, do you smell what the Ed is cooking?" Ed. All right, so we have issue 400, we have issue 405, and then now we have issue 409, and this is Gary's response. Still WWF'd up. Let me just say that a great injustice has been done to Mad. It occurred in issue 405 of the letters page. Eugene Lumley from New York told you guys that you had not been smelling what The Rock was cooking because D'Lo Brown had never had Ho escorts. Let me reassure you that there was a brief period when D'Lo actually had Hoes. It was when he teamed with The Godfather. I used to always watch this before I got a life. Therefore, you guys were right all along. What was this idiot thinking? As a faithful reader, I would like you to know that I am on your side and will probably watch out for errors like this as long as my orthodontist keeps up his Mad subscription. Gary Orton, Cedar City, Utah. Yo, G, let me get this straight. You read Mad in your orthodontist office, took the time to write us to correct a mention of D'Lo Brown's Hose in a wrestling storyline that played out about 2 years ago, and you insist in your letter that you have a life? Gary-O, it's time for you to smell what the psychotherapist is cooking. Ed. Now, it didn't end there. We move on to D'Lo Down. This is in Mad Magazine number 412. I'm writing this letter to reply to your letters page of issue 409, and in particular, the one from Gary Orton. Just who in the blue hell is he to question the Great One? I never said D'Lo Brown never had Ho escorts, but it was the Godfather who always had the Ho as escorts. For the record, D'Lo Brown only picked up the pimping storyline to try and save his career in the World Wrestling Federation. Gary should stop visiting his orthodontist and start making more trips to his optometrist because his eyes are very bad. That's my story, and I'm sticking by it. If you smell what Eugene is cooking, Eugene Lumley, Bronx, New York. Blue Jean. Well, well, well. Meow! Nothing we like more than a petty little squabble on the letters page. And about something important, too. A 3-year-old wrestling storyline. Well, Gary O, it's your turn to respond to this simmering D-Lo pimp ho controversy. We just hope you have an orthodontist appointment and see this letter. Hardcore Ed. Now, did it end there? Kind of, but not really. It continues in Mad Magazine number 415, where our friend Gary writes back. Where is it? Here we go. In a section called Feud For Thought. There's an editor's note that explains how this all went down. This is Gary's response to Lumley's letter back in Mad Magazine number, can I keep them straight? 412. What's up? First off, let me say I got my braces off months ago. So now I have to buy Mad from the store, and sometimes I miss an issue. However, I did pick up the one where that putz, Eugene Lumley, or as he calls himself, the Great One, said I need to go to the optometrist. Since we last spoke, I have put the WWF as far back in my mind as I can, and I don't even remember what happened with the whole pimp ho controversy. But what about Eugene? Honestly, he can't let it go. I'm curious, how old is old Gene anyways? Is he just like some 30-year-old who still lives with his parents? I've hit the grand age of 18 and have matured slightly enough to put this pre-adolescent soap opera behind me and watch real sports like football. I think that the only thing Eugene is cooking is a load of crap. Well, I think I better translate this into Eugene terms. Orton 316 says, I just kicked your ass. Gary Orton, Cedar City, Utah. Gary O and Eugene L. In the words of the immortal Rodney King, can't we all just get along? Well, evidently not. So rather than continue to publish your increasingly insulting missives, we're going to throw this to our readers. Who's the grade A chicken-boned moron, Gary O or Eugene L? Send your opinions on this matter to Amy, the Big Ref, 1700 Broadway, New York, New York, 10019. We'll print the best of these letters in an upcoming issue, and please don't hesitate insulting these two meatheads. Ed. So, the final chapter of this epic saga comes in Mad Magazine number 418. And here we have Feud For Thought. And there's a whole editor's recap, which you don't need to hear because I've just given it to you. I've given you the whole big picture. Thank goodness I'm here. I think they're both morons. I mean, what kind of stooge gets into a feud by writing to a magazine? Christopher Miles, Santa Cruz, California. What kind of backwood Alabama idiots are these? Well, they're from Utah and New York, I think. Not. Have they not considered that nobody gives a flying chair who is a pimp, and no one cares if one is tougher than the other because it's all staged anyway? It's real to me. Personally, I think both Eugene and Gary are both grade A chicken bone morons. We all know Gary is just some weirdo with greasy hair that sits in his room and watches old wrestling reruns. Eugene can't be much worse, except the fact that he's probably 45 and living in his parents' basement. And finally, I can't read them all. Who cares? Stop wasting ink on these two grade A chicken-boned morons. Randy Gazzara, San Diego, California. My only hope in all the world is that Eugene or Gary watch this video and reach out to me. That would make my day.